That's what you do. You buy these clothes that cost money and make a difference in it. But we never do that.
Never complains, gets up, gets on, with a smile on his face.
You just want you to sit in your chair and go, hip hip hooray, for the Western press and the Western narrative, regurgitating the same old, every single day, without this. If you haven't seen it before, please watch the first two episodes, the second series, something like that. Stallone.
We are on the site of the castle.
And it was the first time the Beatles had really stopped being semi-professional almost.
Look at that.
Absolutely fascinating.
Hi everyone, it's Friday. Do you know what? Albeit that it's been a great day. I was talking to Anthony today, we had a great chat. And I said, listen Anthony, I said, I'm going to go down to by the bench yet and get some sun. I said, okay. So I got ready to go down to the bench yet to get some vitamin D on the stupid place. And someone's I couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. But that's the way it is, you know. With me. Everything wrong. Everything. Now, anyway, let's see. Edward. Hey, Edward. Big up, Frank. I emailed you back last night. If you sent it to that, Jason has to send it on to me. So whether he sent it on to me, I don't know, Edward. But can you see my private address, email address? Just send it to that. Be able to respond immediately, you see. Because I get a lot of spam. Tons of it. Well, thanks for that, Edward. Anyway, thank you. And Simon says, the cynic in me thinks that the current conflict between Israel and Iran is now nuclear related, but due to the elements with the IRG support Mossad to carry out surgical strikes seeking regime. It's fucking terrible what they're doing. It's horrible. I'm talking about that. Because what they're doing, you see, you can't say with Trump, I can't make him out. I can't make the man out. What I mean is, he said, oh, I'm not going to do anything for 2 weeks. And that puts me in remind of Zelensky. Because Zelensky's going, I want a 30-day ceasefire. You know why he wants a 30-day ceasefire? Because the EU wants to send them all arms to keep escalating the war. Because he's finished him. He's a dead man walking. Zelensky. The Azovs have got him with a big gun behind the back. The Russians want him for war crimes. He's not going to live in peace if he does get out of it. He'd be looking over his shoulder constantly, day in, day out, 24/7. Every day of the year. But the Russians want him. So it's like that. So why is Trump called for, I'm not going to do anything for their 2 weeks? It's to rearm. If anyone knows, it's to rearm, isn't it? Israel's fucking finished. They're running out of these defensive missile things. They're running out of them. I was looking at a strange, it just came up. The Daily Mail and this fella, fucking hell, he should have had the propaganda. And this other tippy talking about the shadow missiles. Jeez. And everyone going, oh yeah, I was reading the comments. Oh yeah. There's a few comments who were saying, are you fucking kidding or what? Absolutely ridiculous. And Simon says human rights violations, restriction on freedom of speech and assembly, suppression of dissent, and the use of capital punishment, including for minors, yes, as well as mismanagement of resources and corruption. But nothing's getting done. He's wanted by the International Criminal Court for war crimes. You're talking Netanyahu here. And he's going to fucking countries. No one's arresting him. Why? It'll be very interesting if someone arrested him and sent him to The Hague, because America has said any Americans, no, this is just America, because they're not involved with the ICA, International Criminal Court. They're not interested in that. They're away from them. And they said if any American is brought up before in the international, we will go and bomb you. That's what they said. So it'll be very interesting if they grabbed Netanyahu, put him in The Hague, would they go and bomb? I think they would. I think they would. I'm gonna ask Simon here. I'm gonna ask you this. I'm gonna mention a quote, and I want you to look it up to see who said it. I know, but I want you to look it up. Okay. And it's those who fail to learn the lessons of history are condemned to repeat it. Who said that? So let's do it again. Those who fail to learn the lessons of history are condemned to repeat it. Who said that? Your little mate, Simon. Oh, Myra. Hi, everyone. Hi, Myra. Lovely to see you, honestly, sweetheart. Really is. I've seen you on the Galway show, didn't I? Big battle. Fight back. Bob Cosmer. But, I do watch it and I'd turn off the comments, Just watch. I want to listen to what they're saying rather than read everybody else's thing. Anyway, yeah, Simon, Iran's leaders overplayed their hands and as a result gave Israel the opportunity to strike. Look at their main proxy. They are either wary to attack Israel or severely deep. They're fucking attacking them now. Got it wrong there, Simon, mate. It's going through the Iron Dome. The missiles are going through the Iron Dome, mate. I don't justify what is being conducted by Israel in the Middle East. I've never, ever condoned anything Israel have done. But I'm surprised, apart from the usual suspects, the Arab League not have not been more vocal in their opposition to the current bombing campaign being conducted. Be a big mistake if America gets involved, because you've got to look at it economically. Now, the other fella's talking about nuclear attacks, because he said, "Oh, the bunker busters doesn't want to use them." So he said, "It'll have to be nuclear." Don't fucking do that. You don't do that. I'm telling you now. You don't do it. If the Middle East burns, what's going to happen? Even in this country, what's going to happen? Europe will become a standstill. No energy, because we've already sanctioned Russia. Russia's got all the oil. So what do we do? What do we do for energy if the Middle East is burning? Hey, think about it. Think about it. Think about the hike in prices. Think about that. And this is all because of a 2014 Maidan coup d'etat in Kiev to overthrow a legitimate government, legitimate, that the majority of Ukrainians voted for, and they threw him out, the Americans, along with the Azovs. And you know who the Azovs are. All because of this. No one realized the consequences this has all caused. For years, what's Netanyahu been saying about Iran? And for years, what's Congress, the likes of that Lindsey Graham, been saying? We want a war with them. We should go. Why go to war with Iran? What? Now you've got this Rizza fella. Because in 1979, Ayatollah Khomeini, who was living in exile in Paris, once the Shah was overthrown, he went. And this is why they want to overthrow this supreme leader. And he's the supreme spiritual leader. And it just doesn't represent. I tell you what it's like. It's like killing the Pope. He's the supreme leader of all Catholics. And he's the supreme leader, believe it or not, of all Muslims. He's the spiritual leader. Not just the leader of Iran, he's the spiritual leader. If they take him out, you will see a very different Middle East. Very different, the whole of it. This is why he's over and what shall I do? Trump, that is. Because he'll become a big martyr. A big martyr. The spiritual leader. Don't ask me to pronounce his name. Almighty. According to Seymour Hill, love him. Best investigative reporter ever, this fella. USA going to strike them tonight, over the weekend, yeah. That's what he says. For people who don't know where Seymour Hirsch, He investigated the Nord Stream and just came out and said he's an American. And he just said, "Here you go, America." He said it. And he had everything. I read the report, you know, his report. And everything, he got everything right. The Nord Stream pipeline. He said America did it. He was right, so yeah, I knew he did it as well, Biden. Just to get at Russia. Frank, I hope you do. Thank you, Myra, and you, honestly, sweetheart, and you. About it was not about nukes. It was about it. Yeah, but yeah, that's what I mean. It's gone on. It's gone on because the regime change. What they want is to put this fella in. He's another puppet. America has a puppet in, and the British, and that was the Shah of Iran. Now his son, you know, he's saying, let's demonstrate. And you're getting propaganda of demonstrations in Tehran. They're saying, you know, they're all out for regime change. They're fucking not. They're out against Israel. See how they spin it? It's ridiculous. And people fall for it. People fall for it. I'm not saying you fall for it, people. But people fall for it. Here's to a great show, my good friend and chat, Anthony Brown. Cheers, Anthony. Thank you. Great chat today we had. It was actually really good. And, Johan. Good evening, Frank and legends in the chat. All the world leaders are calling for the de-escalation, but Zelensky says he hopes this doesn't affect the aid to Ukraine. What a greedy little gremlin. They've walked away, to be honest. They've walked away. The West, they're walking away. He is a greedy little gremlin, to be honest, Johan. Mary says, I did ask TW and Agent Lee to go to court. Agent says he's back. Go away. Has he? TW and the agent. Would have been great to see them, you know. Really would have been. Sorry, I forgot to say good evening, Franco, lads and lasses. Say Simon. I know. Thought you fell out with us, Simon. Cara mia Toscana, come stare? Buonasera. Ciao Franco, buonasera to you all. Hiya Toscana. I hope you and your son's okay, your lad. And Myra, Israel has 10 days of air defense. That's all they've got. That's all, the Iron Domes is finished. The Iron Dome is finished. It's not like impenetrable, as they said. Who said it? I think Colonel McGregor said it's like a sieve, you know, a sieve. The missiles are going through. They're getting a few. They're not soft, the Iranians. They're sending over the missiles and they're just saying, go ahead. Now take them out. They're not worried that they're getting taken out because they've got thousands of them left. They'll have no air defense whatsoever. And they'll just send fucking load over. That's what they're doing. But I don't trust Trump because he said we're suspended and say about negotiations. You know, never trust him. He's a fucking liar. He turns out to be a warmonger like Biden. Toscana to Johan. I couldn't agree more. V. Zelensky. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could chuck him. He's got houses dotted all over Europe. Where does he get that money from? I'll tell you where he fucking gets it from. He's been getting it from you, me, throughout Europe and America. It's the most corrupt country in the world. He's the most corrupt leader. They're all corrupt, but he's the corruptest then. Because Kiev it's not a city. It's a fucking big washing machine. And that's where the money's spinning around. Going here, there, everywhere, and 10% for him. And he's crying out for arms, you know. If I had more arms, you know, we can take on all the fucking arms he's had. All the arms he's had. There's my daughter just texting me. Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about this. But anyway, get back to this. See, the money, as I said, it's a big washing machine and it's going somewhere. He's bought houses everywhere. He's bought houses everywhere. And I'm talking multi-million pound houses. He's bought a little island in the Caribbean. Be no use to any. They all won't be any use to them, I'm telling you. And you're on to Toscana. Good evening, Toscana. And yes, all that aid is going somewhere. All right. Brilliant. Brilliant, Simon. Come on. Another one of his, those who cannot remember the past are condemned to repeat it. And there is no cure for birth and death, save to enjoy the interval. Get in there. Good lad. Good lad. Simon. Right, I've just played the lottery. I'll treat you all if I win. Decent amount. Even Johan, the Man United fan, won't be discriminated against. Just buy a villa in Tuscany. And you can invite us over for a party. And you was there. Fingers crossed you win. Lovely. Oh. Sorry, I was referring to the Hamas was attacking Israel, Hezbollah, and the Houthis were firing back. Now they are very. Oh yeah, I heard rumours in Iran is using cluster bombs and getting weapons from China. Yet they are. And they're getting weapons from Russia as well. What are they going to fucking do? Who's going to take on Russia? The Americans couldn't even defeat the Houthis. They couldn't even defeat the Taliban, who were going to war in flip-flops and on a bike with a rifle thrown over the shoulder. They couldn't defeat them for 20 years. And when they left Afghanistan, they got rid of the bikes and started going into these big Humvees and tanks and everything else. And their uniforms, and you see them with the helmets on, standing there, sunglasses on. Incredible. Incredible. Myra, Frank, China. Absolutely, they are dependent on it. See, they've made a road, instead of going around seas and everywhere. They've made a road from China to Iran. The Chinese. And if that, see, there are countries, if everything just stops and whatever, the oil, the EU is so pathetic. They said, oh yeah, we'll put it $5 a barrel. Oil. Right, $5 a barrel. That's what they want, $5. The EU. Where the fuck do you think the EU are getting the oil from now? They're getting it from Russia through third parties. They must think that we're pick, having a clue. And they want to bring it down to, if that goes down, the whole of the economy around the world, like if they set the Middle East burning, it'll just, and I'm talking about the world economy. You can go back to the 1920s when you had the greedy bankers in America, and then they had to, it was the crash, wasn't it? The 20s, the roaring 20s, millions of people out of work, shocking. It was shocking. Then you had droughts and the farms were failing, the crops were failing. People dying in the street, you don't see that, you don't hear about that, but beware, you see the long queues upstairs, these soup shops, as they call them. People going to get soup. That's what it'll be like. I was watching something the other day, and I had to turn it off. And it was a Ukrainian, and he was digging this. I thought it was a pit. It was his grave. And I went, oh fuck. I really thought that it was Russian. It was a Ukrainian, and it is there. Oh, I should have seen him. Terrible image. And he was pleading, obviously, but they wouldn't allow him to turn around. He was trying to turn around, shaking with the shovel. I don't know if anyone's seen it. And I thought they were Russians standing over him. It wasn't. It was down in the pit. It was Ukrainians, because he tried to surrender. He gave up. He said, I'm fucking not having it. He fucking shot him and made these other lads to fill in the grave. And he said, if you fucking do that, that's where you'll be going. They're the Azov, they're the nice Azovs for you. Frank Seymour also proved that it was the ISIS and not Assad user. Yeah, it was debunked about Assad. It was shocking. I remember a few years ago, it was all about Assad. And I'm going, he wouldn't be doing this to his own people. And then they were talking about Homs and, a city. And you should have seen Homs, beautiful city. But that was just one city within Syria. And then he was talking, and his wife is English and a Christian. Did you know that? And she said, yeah, we have a Christian community in a city. Forget the name of it. And all Syrian Christians lived there. The Syrian born, they're not all like Muslim or whatever. And they lived there. But this city of Homs, absolutely. Then you see the aftermath. The Allies, famous Allies, all this fucking going on. Trying to get rid of Assad, because as I mentioned before, in the 1970s, there was a fellow named Clark, and he had this plan to get rid of 7 leaders in 7 countries in the Middle East. And Assad was one of them. This is the last one today. Who are they doing it for? It's all the regime changes for. Well, if you think about it, if you see the plan of what Israel wants, they want all that land. Because as they say, God promised the land to them. Isn't it funny that half of them in the Israeli government don't believe in God? But they believe that. Can't make these things up. So you're right there, Johan. ISIS. And what they were doing, when it was debunked, it came out. I remember footage of it at the time. And I'm saying, they wouldn't do that. Why would he want to bomb his own? His own people turning against him while everyone's fucking against him now. Anyway, when it was debunked, what I seen at the footage first, when I said, he wouldn't be doing it. You see kids, and you see, remember the fellas in the white hats and jackets? They were phony then. They were in on it. And they were spraying these kids, to get this or whatever it was, from the barrel bombs. And it wasn't to get that off. And the kids were screaming because they said, look, they're burning inside. The burn wasn't. It was the fucking freezing cold water. If you're a little child and you're getting fucking lashed with a load of fucking water on you, freezing cold, you're going to scream. Go in the shower and turn the shower on. If it's freezing cold, you're, whoa. So not loads of times. And that's how they did it, to show, oh, look, I can poor children. Regime change, get rid of the dictators. Get rid of Gaddafi. Gaddafi was wonderful to his people. Saddam Hussein kept a lid on everywhere. He's a murderer, he's a tyrant, you know, he's this, he's that. Remember when they found him? We dare him. Typical Yanks. We dare him. That's America for you. So, Frank, if the Americans strike and knowing where Ali Husseini Khamenei is located, do you think the repercussions could be? Yes, very much so. Attacks in the West, rumours, active cells already. There's loads of them. There's loads of. They're not stupid, but we are. I've said this loads of times, you know, before all this. I said, I've seen these boat people. They're all young lads. They're all in their 20s and early 30s, and they're all well dressed. On boats, dinghies. There's cells everywhere, up and down the country. And there has been terrorist attacks here. You've only got to look at the Manchester Arena. Be loads of it here. I'm telling you. This is the problem. We have the black and white board. Good evening, all. The black and white. Dare I mention that warmongering mob or will be censored again? No. That's what I mean. It's freedom of speech is gone. It's like this fella gets Steve Evans. Someone says you opened your wallet today, Frank. Great, these conspiracy theories are. He's getting me back because he texted about he wanted to go and see these something tones, Wolf Tones, a band. I've never fucking heard of it. He goes to see bands I've never even heard of. And I said, I'm there tonight, stay. Because he said he couldn't go, he was working. And he got me back. He said, yeah, go in there, you never even heard of them. I said, I know. And Callum, Vert's announced. Sorry, it's been announced 2 minutes after you came on. Vert, I have to get something into you, Callum. No problem. Francis sent me a message. Photo. Rob Mackett, hi Rob. Good evening everyone in the chat. I hope you're all doing well in the currently scary world. Good to see you, Rob. Do us a favour, mate. Have you subscribed? Just to get the algorithm up there. Like and subscribe. I never say that to her. Tighter than a sailor's knot. You behave. Get out of it. I'm the most generous person you're ever likely to meet. You. Not like you. When you get a tea, you go on the bus with it. It's getting a taxi. Too much now. Too much in a taxi down there. Get a bus. Or we walk. Would you like a nice walk? I know all about you. you're coming out with Gaelic. I know what you mean. But yeah, £3 we stand with Palestine. Lovely. And Rob says, if Zelensky is that bloody worried about arms, why doesn't he buy them himself? He's got enough money. Absolutely. Absolutely. To be honest, look, he knows they get destroyed. They get destroyed. And they go on the black market, as you know, and they've been selling them to the Mexican cartels, Rob. They've been selling them to the Mexican cartels. This is why the likes of that Rand Paul, great senator, everything, look, I'm going to get start something here. Missiles and everything these have been buying to, off Zelensky. Black market. Them and the Azovs. The Azovs don't want to be caught by Russia. They've got a load of them. And they're all going on trial, that lot. Frank Mossad hacked Assad's email, open to find compromising material on him. The only thing of substance they found was love letters to his wife. What a nice man. And they overthrew him. Absolutely. Anyone. Look. Johan. Muammar Gaddafi lived in a tent because he was born in a tent. And he promised his people, all of them, until you have a house, proper house, apartment, whatever, I'll live in my tent until all my citizens have a house. Then I'll live in a palace or whatever. Every time they got married and had children, if they got married, I'm going back a few years now, he gave them the equivalent to start off in a house or whatever, 60,000 quid. And if they has a child, I forget how much or what, I think it was 25,000, equivalent money. That's what he was like to his people. Muammar Gaddafi. Muammar, whatever I would pronounce his name. He was a very good man. He fought for the underprivileged. Frank, I didn't know that the Soviet Union was the first country to recognize Israel. What caused the relationship to become so strained? And no, Israel doesn't currently sanction them over Ukraine. I think they have now, I think they have now. Because Putin says, I'll negotiate between Iran and Israel. I'll negotiate. Even Xi Jinping has said it. The most ironic thing and stupidest thing about Trump is saying I'm negotiating with peace, between Ukraine and Russia. He fucking started it. He's involved in it. And it's immediate. Fuck off. Get out of it, you fucking big dope. That's what Putin should say to him. But Putin's, he knows the score. Lavrov knows the score. Peskov knows the score. Medvedev knows the score. And you know the score out here. Yeah, they did. But it was only a tiny little strip. And they just said to the Jews, if you want to live there. That was a fella, that was a Scouser, by the way. A fella named Balfour. said, here's what we'll do. And it was a part of Palestine. And have you noticed the way that Netanyahu said there's no such place as Palestine? This is our ancestral, fuck off, it wasn't. It's shocking. It's really shocking. Myra, one thing that the war in Ukraine and Iran is that Western weapons are in effect. Yes, Western weapons are made for profits, not for war. They haven't got the technology. And as I said, Myra, I was listening to this podcast that, you know, was a pain on YouTube and the Daily Mail. He was talking about the Storm Shadow. I think it was a couple of years old. And they haven't a clue. Even the drones today, Russia has, they've made these new ones. And they're undetectable. And they've got payloads on them. Oh, devastating. They've got the Orishnik. Oh, it's just, they reckon, worse than a nuclear bomb. And that's not even nuclear. And they can drop that. I think they will, in the end. Just get rid of it. I think they will. But they don't want to damage Kiev, because Kiev is an ancestral home of Russia, like Odessa, Catherine the Great. And what did, I think it was Medvedev, and he said last year, do you know when they toppled the statue of Catherine the Great? He said, I don't know how they're doing that. That'll be put back up once we get there. This was, I don't know whether it was last year or the year before, he said. So you knew that they were going to take Odessa, even going back 2 years ago. That's what he said. Don't know how they've done that with. That would be going back up on its pedestal. Medvedev said. I'll tell you what now, and I'm not exaggerating. If Medvedev was president of Russia, this war would have been over months ago. It would have been over in 2022. He would have just fucking flattened a lot of them. Just flatten them. Did you see the comments by Darren Jones on Question Time? Don't watch it. This from a government minister doesn't give much confidence about the security of our borders. What is it about this government we cannot see? They cannot see. Please, I'll have to put my glasses on. Distant glasses. Reading glasses. So I can read properly. Right, I'll read that again. Did you see the comments by Darren Jones on Question Time? This from a government minister doesn't give much confidence about the security of our borders. What is it about this government? What can't they see? Tell you what they can't see. Starmer went to South Korea. And he said, anyway, he went over and he shook hands with this fellow. Thought it was the fucking president. And it was the interpreter. It was the interpreter. See what a fool he is. That's what he can't see. He can't see what's in front of him, what's reality. But he's a puppet. He's given a script. He's given a script to deal with. And he reads it out. They all read the scripts that they're given. As you were very generous with the mail orders. Do you know what? I'm a host, or I was a host. They asked me, the Illuminati, you know, they used to go there and give a talk and whatever. Uni. And they said, will you become a host, Frank? Because we have these people all over the world who come over and we'd like, you know, to be put up if they visit for a day or two to Liverpool. I said, yes, sure, no problem. Got one, didn't I? He said, listen, there's a young girl from South Korea. And she just wants to visit Liverpool, obviously. I said, yes, sure. I phoned stay up. I said, hey, stay, do you mind if I get down to your place? Bring her around. He said, yeah, no problem. And tiny, fucking hell. That big. Where am I? That big. To me. And I'm only 4'10". That big she is. I was. And she'd been travelling all over the world. And anyway, she finally got here. And I put her up for 2 nights. I said, hey, look, you know, looked after her. I said, tomorrow, I said, I'm taking you into town, into our city, and show you around and show you where the Beatles were and what she was made up. First port of call was where Steve where can't tell you where he lived. But it's a grand place. So as I walked in, there was a load of people, and they knew me. You know, loads of people being brought around on a tour. And they would all go, "Are you Frank?" Yeah, you know, loads of them. And he was over in the corner, and I never seen him. And then he shouted over, "Hey, Frank!" And I went, "All right, stay." And he said, "Is that your mail order bride from Thailand you told me about?" And all these people who were going, "Are you Frank?" They all went, turned and looked at me. I'm looking at the girl. And I was saying, no, I said, look, he's joking. I said, she's a lovely girl from South Korea. You know, are you married? No, no. I said, no. I said, she's a student. I said, I promised to take her around. Fucking hell. I had to go around the city centre. I'm meeting people who knew me. And I knew them, you know, knew some of them. And I had to say, oh, she's a South Korean student. I'm just taking her around. Stevens. Callum says the Gaelic either means freedom with Palestine or free Palestine. Yeah. Oh, I forget how you pronounce it. It was like a Kelleher. Quavine Kelleher. Everyone he couldn't pronounce it. Ladies and gentlemen, says Simon, important notification. Like, subscribe. The countdown to 1,000 subscribers. Simon, mille grazie. Grazie mille. Maar I don't understand. It's good to see you. I couldn't even play. I'll just stick to Italian and English, broken English, black and white. So, from last week's news in the UK, babies in the womb up to 9 months and elderly can be snuffed out. Yeah. Yeah. That's why they're bringing out a law today, or whatever it is, about euthanasia. You know, the way you have to go over to Switzerland, you know, for the death or whatever. I watched a film called Toxic Skies. Toxic Skies. And Anne Hesh, a few years ago. She was killed in a car crash. Anyway, it was about getting rid of people over the age of 60. And how they were doing it. American, obviously. It was through chemtrails. And as the chemtrails, you know, when the plane passes, you see the chemtrails there. Still. But they were poisonous. Doing the elderly in. Who's worse? Benjamin Netanyahu or Hitler? I know it's a genuine question. You didn't have to say that. Who's worse? Can I put it this way? You had a German underground, what you never heard of. You had the likes of a girl student named Sophie Scholl in Nazi Germany. And they went under the banner called the White Rose. And they were against everything. You had the likes of, they became politicians. Scholl, they all became politicians, big politicians at the time. And what had happened was, they were the underground. And you had them fighting against Hitler. You had the likes of one of the greatest generals in any war, you know, any conflict or whatever. And he was a genuine he was a genuine soldier. A genuine soldier. And his name was Erwin Rommel. Even Montgomery said, I'll shake hands with him after the war. Because he wasn't one of these Nazis or whatever. He wasn't one of them. He was a soldier. He'd always been a soldier. And if your country goes to war, you have to go to it. Albeit he was against the war. And he was one of these conspirators to get rid of Hitler. Along with von Stauffenberg, who planted the bomb in the bunker. They thought they killed him. But anyway, he was forced to commit suicide He was forced to commit suicide. Why didn't they hang him or anything? Because it would have caused ructions. So he was forced to commit suicide there in Rome. Great man. So, what you have today, you have people against Hitler, from the likes of Sophie Scholl. Now, she was collared, and she was 21 years of age, a college student, university student, giving out leaflets saying this is wrong what this man is doing. Our young lads are dying. What's the other countries done to us? What have they done to deserve the jackboot in their homeland? See, so it was things like that. And she was collared, put on trial, a judge named Fleischer. Horrible, man. Horrible. Horrible judge. And he humiliated people in his court. The likes of old men, for example. He wouldn't allow them to wear a belt or any, and you're seeing them holes in the trousers. It was fucking shocking what that man, Fleischer, was doing. Anyway, he puts her, he sentenced her to death, and she was guillotined. Yes, the Germans guillotined people as well. See, I've got these itching back, haven't I? You notice I'm doing all this and this scratching. Might as well be a monkey, man, like scratching myself. Netanyahu. See, you had one set of people going into, the genocide with Jews. But it wasn't only Jews. It was Russians. It was Romanis. It was everyone, even disabled people. Disabled. Going to the depths. And I guess where else they were going to the depths? Not only in Poland, Ukraine. Deaths. Stepan Bandera. 400,000 Jews. That's where they stem from. The Azovs today. They're all fucking Nazis. But you've got it today in Gaza. You've got it today with the likes of. Don't forget, Israel was behind all these regime changes, How many people have died? 1 million people died in Iraq alone under a false. It was a lie, a blatant lie. 1 million Iraqis died. Think about it. 1 million of them. How many have died since? With the likes of Gaddafi. When he went. You don't hear it, do you? What's going on in Libya? You don't hear what's going on in Iraq. Have you seen the state of Syria? There are Christians and Muslims being executed every day. And the Americans put this Giuliani in. The most wanted man, the most wanted terrorist with $10 million on his head. president. See? And Netanyahu has his hand in everything. So what you've got Hitler and Germany, right? Getting rid of people. Then you've got it's hard to explain. You've got Netanyahu. It's not just Israel, it's everyone that's involved. That's why he wants America. America just a warmongering country. Imagine if there'd be no America. There'd be no wars. There'd be no wars. And this is why they for years, for fucking years, they've depended on America. If they were on their own, be fucking finished. Be finished. If America pulls away now and just said, no, that's it, carry on. You started this by sending missiles in. You finish it. Well, we're stepping back. If Trump did that. What would happen? They'd be gone within a couple of weeks. Israel, telling you now. The ballistic missiles that Iran has would destroy Israel. Ballistic missiles. And have you noticed the way they come out, like the likes of that Lindsey Graham? They're protecting, Israel's protecting us. How the fuck are they protecting us? How have they ever protected us? Since they've been formed in 1946, 7. How? I want to know how they're protecting us. And we've got to get rid of it. This is Lindsey Graham. We've got to get rid of this leader of the Iranians, because they want to build nukes. So we don't want to build a fucking nuke to save the West, to save us. And people are fucking believing this. People are believing it. Excuse me. It's just ridiculous. It really is ridiculous. Excuse me. Come on, fucking work. Excuse me. Thank you so much. Thank you, sweetheart. my neighbour with what? And a few biscuits. So, is it Benjamin? Yeah, Benjamin, they're both the fucking same. Because they're killing people discriminately and involving other people. I put them on par. And you know Netanyahu? Kelkowski, his name is, or something like that, Malowski. He's not, he's a fucking Pope. Whether you know that or not. Hello, Dickie. Truth. Yes. Truth. Evening, Master Don Franco. Hope you're well, says the IBR. Yes. On Gaddafi's death. Oh, yeah. We came, we saw, he died. Hillary. Horrible. Newland. They're all fucking horrible people. Bubble, bubble, soil and trouble. I put them the likes of that Albright, Hillary, and Victoria Newland. They're the three witches. But now you've got the three witches in there, the EU. Kaya Kallas, von der Leyen. And Annalena Baerbock. Myra. Turkey president said that Netanyahu and Hitler are the same. I agree. Turkish president, that's Erdogan, calls everyone a Nazi. I believe it. It's true, Callum, yeah, I do. Because they are puppets to Netanyahu. Simon Darren Jones was trying to portray its babies and women coming over from France covered in fuel burns. When challenged, he based it on see two boats at Dover. Even Louise Casey report. I haven't a fucking clue who they are now. I don't follow them. That's what you're reading, and that's what people believe in. Edward, there's only one email on the message you sent me, and it's email address Jason get. Well, I haven't seen it because he'd have to send it on to me. Sorry, Edward. But I will see it anyway. IBR says everything they try to portray Putin as 8. Is that 8 rather than the 8? Yeah. Netanyahu is a psychopathic, yeah. Yeah, he is IBR. Absolutely 100%. The reason why all these Zionists have Star Wars sounding names is because they all changed their last name to sound like they are from the region. Netanyahu, Milikovsky. Pole, he's a Pole. Yeah, there's my old mate there, Stephen. Iran hasn't used any of its military and air force yet. got a massive air force, you know. It's not like Iraq. This isn't like Iraq. This isn't like Afghanistan. You know, if people are thinking that this is going to be like, oh, you know, go into Afghanistan and sort them out, which they didn't, and go into Iraq and sort them out. Fucking totally different, these people. Callum, agree Western media is brainwashed so they brain dead. So they are so brain dead, and they called Gaz Lineker a liar. There's a fella, I fucking forget his name. I was watching him today, and I came on YouTube. And this fella's British, but he's a fucking government, Israeli government spokesman, David Kessin, or something like that. Fucking horrible prick he is. Horrible. And funny enough, I used to watch Channel 4 News years ago until I seen that they started the SMO 2022. And Matt Fry giving it a talk. You know, he's on a balcony and he's saying about, you know, this SMO and this fellow was talking a loads of bollocks, and I was going, what's he fucking going on? Then he turned to this lady. You could say elderly. And he said, oh, and this is whatever her name was, and she's a former Russian MP. And he said, so what's this? And she said, well, it's the people of the Donbass that are being, and he fucking knew what she was going to say. And here's what he's doing. No, that's it. No, stop. Wouldn't allow her to talk. A fucking journalist. Matt fucking Fry. I used to admire him. Once he did that, on the first fucking time I'd seen him in Kia, that was it with me. Oh, fuck you. See how I said all along, that's the fucking narrative that you're fucking believing, not you, that everybody's believing in. They've got no fucking alternative narrative. They just go along, oh, that's it. Do you ever remember Saddam Hussein? And when he went in there, and he has a girl, an ambassador's daughter, look at American, you know, one of the fucking puppets, and she was saying, oh yeah, I went to the hospital and they were getting babies and throwing them out of the incubators. Oh, it was shocking. I was there. They never had any fucking incubators in the year. It was all debunked afterwards. Lies, blatant fucking lies. But they were putting us out as propaganda. It wasn't fucking lies. Michael J. Spot on. Spot on. What's not on? Thank you. Thank you. Johan. Was it the same neighbour you told you know nothing of? No, that was another one. No, this neighbour's upstairs, lovely. Oh, she's a lovely person. And she's looking after her husband, you know. I felt terrible. Well, like me, something fell there when I pushed that in. I know what it is, like. I know what it is. Easy fixed. It was me, anyway. And she said, I haven't done it. Did you hear her say, are you walking? Oh, like, because I can't walk, you see. Struggling. And she brought me water. Lovely. And biscuits. Fucking water and biscuits. I should have said to her that it's that holy water. Imagine him turning up on a current events night. Johan, honest. He said, don't you watch the news? I went, no. He said, so how do you know? I went, because I watched the alternative news. Fucking hell. In my own home. I screamed, you know, and I shouldn't have. I went, you fucking having a laugh? Ran improved on Northrop F-20 Tiger Shark. Most are jets. Look like, yeah, got the Tigers. Yeah. What do you think it took out the F-35, the F-35 jet? But as Steve Malone says, they haven't even used their, you know, the Iran hasn't used their Air Force yet. They've got all the latest. I'm telling you. Do you know the way, like as I said, you know, about that quote. And those who fail to learn the lessons of history are condemned to repeat it. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Do you know what it's like? Being funny. See, you get divorced. And something happens and you go, oh, I'm fucking afraid that I could start all over again. Say that she beat you up. Or you beat her up. Do you think for one fucking minute that they go back to one of us? They would allow. Some do, unfortunately. That's the way I look at all this. You know, they're there to repeat it, condemned to repeat what they did in the first marriage. Never mind the second marriage. It don't change. Some might, most don't. IBR. The attacks on October the 7th were generated by, absolutely, they were. And it's all being debunked, and he still fucking comes out and says, yeah, well, about the 7th, the babies, the rapes, everything. I seen footage, I was on that, was it Rumble or Telegram? And you see this man, Jewish man, in shirt sleeves, like an elderly man, and he's running down the road, and all of a sudden, he just fucking falls flat on his face, dead. He gets shot. It was a fucking Israeli soldier, and that's where it was all coming out. And there was a woman saying on the, you know, on the footage, like this news people, these news people. It was our own Israeli soldiers shooting us, shooting. Never heard of it again. And you know what? That's why all these journalists were being killed. You see them now, and they're all fucking bad. They're all bad. But anyway, getting back to that fucking David fella. And it just came on, he was talking to Chris You know, that Krishna fella off Channel 4, he's great, him. Like him. Oh, he got fucking roasted by Krishna. You're saying there's no way? He said there's lots of evidence. No, you know, you're believing propaganda. I would love you to fucking get it up. That Krishna fella, you know, off Channel 4, and this Taylor fella. Please have a look at Ted Cruz, Senator Ted Cruz, in an interview with Tucker Carlson. Get it up and have a look if you haven't seen it. That's Cruz. Fucking hell, he's one fucking arsehole, eh? Dangerous arsehole as well. Franco, there are a few decent journalists today. They are either worked previously for Murdoch or linked to Labour under Blair's watch. Matt Fry, Adam Bolton, Emily May, John Sutton, bring back Paxman. That Emily mate stuff, she's a fucking out of there. And that's Sutton. And Bolton. They're all fucking at it. They expect you to believe everything they say because they're scripted. Not to say, not to tell you and me and everybody else. It's not just politicians, any spokesman for the vested interest as well as schools are out to say what is they wish to say, which may bear no relation at all to what you've been asked, what you've asked them. Jeremy Paxman said that, yeah. They don't answer the question. And I was watching, I don't know this fella's name, talking to the same fucking David fella. He said, but I've asked you the question, you're not answering it. Can you answer the question? Trying to deny everything. He said, you're believing in Hezbollah's propaganda. He said, no, it's your propaganda. He's good, the lad. Don't know him, having a fucking clue who he is. Frank, there are memes of sleazy fella Ted. Oh, go away. Go away. Yeah. I'll have to. I think I was watching the Duran today. Well, it's Alex Christopher, brilliant he is. I've got to watch him every day. And he shows you Cruz with, I think that's one of the memes, Johan and Michael. Jeffrey Sachs for brilliant him. I love him. I love Sachs. I was on a pod, I was just looking at it, when I was live. And I said, this is great, this. It was Jeffrey Sachs, Colonel McGregor, and I forget who he was talking to. And I said, what a combination there. Sachs, McGregor. Oh, he was doing he was floating. It was Tucker Carlson. I said, what a combination. This is what needs to be listened to, the truth in this fucking fella. Had to go up. And I did, comments and shit. And I said, I don't reply to arseholes. That was it. That's all I said. And he started having a go. Took no fucking notice. Callum, they brainwash you in schools and say Jesus was born in Israel and not Palestine. Oh, go away. Is that what they're saying now? Go away. I didn't know that. Did he say that Herods was an Israelite? They wouldn't say that, would they? They'd say he was a Palestinian. Fucking hell, I didn't know that. I always remember years ago, I was a lecturer at the time, and one of my students said, "Can I have a words with you afterwards?" I said, "Yeah." So anyway, I had a words with him. I said, "What's up?" I thought he was going to go on about his fucking essay. And he said, "My little sister has to learn like these different what was it? Numbers." I know it wasn't numbers. What was it? But they were Arabic. They were Arabic. What was it? Forget what it was. And I said, "Well," I said, "when's this happened?" He said, "Just now. It's only happened this term. Is it wrong?" I said, "Well, I don't know." I said, "What is she?" She said, "First year junior." He said, "I thought I'd ask you." And I said, "Yeah, it is wrong. We have our own culture. And any like migrant who comes to makes his home here or whatever, their families should embrace our culture. That's why they go to school and learn. A teacher, whoever she is or he is teaching, has got this curriculum with these, forget what it was. Because what wasn't numbers? Because numbers in any language is like 1, 2, 3, the number, what you write. Even the aliens. That's how, they send out to space. It's numbers, they send numbers out. Yep, I remember vividly from my school days. Go away. Go away. I didn't know that. That's shocking. I know that they've got Sharia law courts are looking for 40 odd of them. That's fucking wrong. I've got to say it. If you go, just imagine me going to a fucking country and trying to change your law from their law into the law I want, or the language I want. Do you understand? So why is it being allowed here? And someone said that there's no more games on Boxing Day. And someone asked some pod, and someone said it might be an offence to play sport on a Boxing Day to someone. Boxing Day games were a tradition. So therefore, it's not only things that traditionally that we grew up with and being eroded today, but it's gone into sport now. Frank, if the soccer season is over, would you consider doing this Truth and Conspiracies with Frank. Blog 2 times a day. Reading our comments gives us a voice to share. Tell you what I'll do with you. Yeah, I'll do that. Myra, I'll do that. And if you tell me now, honestly, if you tell me now what subject you'd like me to do so that you can have a voice, any subject, it could be these things here, it could be anything. It could be who built the pyramids. It could be anything. It could be about great voyages. It could be about great inventions, engineering, sciences, anything. Let me know and I'll do it. And you can have your voice. You can still carry on about this. What's going on in the world? I went 2 times a week course. I'll do it. Tell you when I'll do it. I'll do it on Tuesdays and tonight, Fridays. How's that? And if you want to pick a subject, any one of you, I'll do it. Where am I? I fucking missed everything. Oh yeah, there I am. Sorry. And Callum said, Myra, I said that to her. You know, you didn't, you liar. Joking, Callum. Thoughts on Brian Walden. I watched 2-part series, Channel 4. Brian and Maggie was a bit disappointed with Steve Coogan portraying Walden. Never seen it. I like Steve Coogan, but Walden was a great fella, him, you know. Great journalist. Tell you who was a good journalist in his time. Hello, good evening and welcome. Who's that? Hello, good evening and welcome. Who said that? IBR to my great video. And Michael there says, do truth twice a week. People need to vent. Yeah. Okay. That makes it this. Well, we see what's going to happen in the next, what are we? Be like 72 hours or something like that. Tuesday, I'll do it Tuesday. I've got my history show on Monday. I'll do it Tuesday because this is the weekend. And remember what Myra said before about Seymour Hersh, and he said, I've been told that it's going to happen over the weekend. So we'll see if it is. So by the time Tuesday is here, have you noticed the likes of Ukraine is put in the background? So you have that in the background. I still follow it every day. And they're just going further and further. The Russians destroying everything in the way. And I'm being honest with you, do you know, with those nuclear bombers being sabotaged. Not them all, like, he only done about 4 or 5 of them. Russia has the right, without any interference, to nuke Ukraine. It was funny when I was looking at that Daily Mail podcast. It said they'd been chased out of the Black Sea. The Russians. They chased them out. Forgetting that they're fucking still there. But there's more submarines. Big. You seen the size of them submarines? The nuclear sub. Fucking hell. I can't even give you. See, like, that's the turret. That's the turret. I got anything here now. That's the turret. But like, just the turret alone on the nuclear thing. The way he stands up here on the top and look out. That's it. They're about that big. The scale, the men. I seen them standing there. About 12 of them. They were that big. They were that. I can't even show you how big they were. Or how small they were to the turret. Fucking huge. Huge. The body. Fucking incredible. I got the shock of my life. I was only watching it the other day. Huge. And they've got them under the sea. Got them every fucking where, the Russians. You've got missiles that cannot be shot down. The Orishnik. Oh. Simon says, what has led to politics and politicians being so inept in this? They know the truth. Honestly, personally, I blame it on Blair. He is all about spin and buzzwords instead of substance and bread and butter issue. That's a correct comment, Simon. But you, look, honest. I'm telling you now, Zelensky, who was a comedian, who played the piano as a fucking fun thing in front of an audience with his penis. And he was a bad actor as well. He's the biggest puppet that they can put there. You've only got to look. They're trying to do regime colour revolutions all over the fucking place. In Georgia. So the NGOs got fucking threw out. The agents. They did it in. Look at what the von der Leyen, Kaya Kallas, and fucking Baerbock done in Romania. When that Georgescu was fucking well in the lead. He's going to win it. They said we can't have him win it. He'll be against us. He'll veto everything about it. Got rid of him. He fucking cancelled it. Brussels, what the fuck? That's democracy. Democracy deconstructed. And he went so we'll have another election. Okay. And he went to go along and fucking put his name down on the paper. He fucking locked him up. He couldn't stand. So a fella by the name of Simeone stood. And in the first round, he was that fucking far in the lead. It was impossible for him to be beat. And he was this fella, he was fucking hell, he was well gone. He couldn't. And by the second time, they said, "Ain't the fella who couldn't possibly win won it, and the fella who shouldn't have lost it, lost it. He should never have lost it." It's fucking shocking, the corruption. And these are by unelected leaders. Kaya Callas. The fucking family were a load of fucking Nazis in World War II, along with von der Leyen. And look at Baerbock. They're all supporting the fucking Azovs. Who are the Azovs? Fucking gang of Nazis. Banderites. They support them. Giving them money, giving them fucking weapons, and they're committing atrocities. Even to their own people. A mate of mine was in here, and he's sitting there. I said, "Yeah, have a look at this," because he was going on about, "Oh, do you know that poor Ukraine? Fucking last English." I said, "Yeah, have a look at this." Showed them that fella. And I showed them about the recruitment. I said to him, "What do you think the recruitment's like over there?" "Oh, they're all fucking queuing up to fight the Russians." I said, "Go ahead. Harry, told you that. It's on the news. Go ahead." Is it on the news? I said, "Yeah, look, there's the recruitment. Do you want to see the recruitment?" And he was sitting there like, "How do you know it's Ukraine?" I said, "Have a look at the fucking badges on here." He said, "I haven't seen any of that." I said, "You fucking won't either." And I showed him more. I showed him fucking more. I said, "Yeah, have a look at this." I said, "No." I asked one question. And I asked, funny enough, when he was here, I asked him a question. Like I asked that other fucking divvy who came in with my neighbour. The neighbour's a nice fella. And I just asked them, I just say, "Do you know, have you ever heard of Victoria Nuland?" And if they say no, who's she? I just tell them, "Well, you know fuck all about anything." And they go, "Oh, fuck, what are you on about?" Because they don't know anything. Frank, anything that's on your mind, I'm smart on any topic. Well, you're always with me anyway, Myra, and we have been together for a long time, haven't we, since all this started? That's how we met. I'd like to, yeah, okay, we'll have a go at that. Palanta, yeah? To people who have no idea Trump's treachery of the US people. Look at that APAC. Even the ordinary Americans are saying, get rid of APAC. Ordinary American people. We've got a better nose. Because I'm telling you now, I was watching a thing on that YouTube, and it was a TikTok thing. Just come on, I haven't got TikTok. And you see this fella in the fucking street, like, a university, then in an ordinary street, and wherever he was. asking students simple questions. Fucking thick. Even the fella said, God bless us. God bless our future with these fucking people. That's what he said. The fella who was like fronting the thing, his podcast, then he went on to this fella going around. Where's England? This girl, England. She said, I'm going to Mexico on my holidays. Is it there? Simple question. And I said this before. I always remember soldiers going over it was a news night. It was black and fucking white telly. I was young, and I seen these soldiers, and they were getting on a plane, and the reporter, American, and they were on the way to Vietnam. And they said, "Do you know where Vietnam is?" He said, "No, man, no. I'm just going to do my duty." Most probably that lad who was fucking didn't know, having a clue where Vietnam was to do his duty. They're still fucking over there dead in a ditch or whatever. Fucking shock. One other one as well. What happened in 1776? Never had, and there was a few of them, never had a fucking clue. And honest to God, I'm not lying, I wish you could get it up. He said, if it's 6:45, honest to God, how many minutes to the hour? Not one fucking said 15 minutes. Not one. One said, is it in 2 hours? He said, no, how many minutes? If it's 6:45, how many minutes to the hour? They were saying all these fucking mad numbers, like 44, 88. Oh, I was shocked. Another question was, what's 3 nines? Coming up with them fucking numbers. What? What's the capital? What's the... Paris is the capital of what country? Someone said Spain. Someone said, these other fucking countries. And this girl said, that's a trick question. It's Paris. Fuck. That's who we're dealing with, people. And that's in the Trump administration. Tulsi Gabbard should have fucking walked away when he says, I'm not taking any notice of her. She's the chief of intelligence, and she said, they're not making any fucking bombs. I like Tulsi. She should be president. Would you teach us about Hezbollah group versus Israel war, says Carlyle? I'll mention Hezbollah, yeah. See, what people don't realise, oh, Myra, Frank, okay, good. What they don't understand, imagine there was no Hezbollah. In Palestine. What would happen to the Palestinians? What would happen to them? They've got no one to turn to, only Hezbollah. You know the way the ordinary Israelis have their government to talk to, to depend on. They've got fucking no one. They only have Hezbollah. Every country around the world has someone to talk to. And that's why Israel is trying to destroy this Hezbollah. IBM, Myra Page, Smart Dust. Frank, it's actually insane to refer to the biblical Israel with the modern nation established. Of course it is. Even Orthodox rabbis oppose them. Of course. John Fairclough. I've just been reading the Bible the other day. I read Ezekiel 38. What's happening now is Bible or biblical prophecy. Kieran Miller. Do you know, I've mentioned this film before. I've mentioned it. Watch Knowing. Right the way through. Great film. Just watch it. Right through to the end. So honestly, watch it. Knowing, Nick Cage. Ben Mendelsohn. Watch it. It's only what you said there. It's only what you said. I always remember, do you know the way you're fucking bored? And I was just sitting down one day and I put this thing, now I'm talking a few years ago. And I put something, I said, oh, fuck this. So I started reading something. Sorry about the scratching. And I was reading about this fella. And he worked for NASA. He was an officer in NASA, Houston, Texas. And anyway, he finished his shift, and it was like midday, finished his shift. Excuse me. Fucking terrible, this shit. You don't know what I go through. Anyway, he goes home, and there's no one in the house. So anyway, he makes himself a drink, cold drink. I'll have a beer, one of these fucking, they always drink beers, don't have you noticed in the films? They would get a little 6-pack and fucking last about three days. Anyway, he goes into, gets changed, goes into his swimming pool. He's got a swimming pool, lies on the thing. And he decides to pick a book out. The bookshelf, just picks it up, walks it. And when he's lying down, all ready, drinking his beer, he opens the book, and it's the Bible. And what he's reading is, believe it or not, Ezekiel. This passage, I'm getting up to get fucking on. So he's reading it. And he went, and what he was reading, now don't forget this fella's at NASA, and he puts it down, and he puts something on it so that, you know, there's a little bit wind or the breeze, you know, turns over the page and he's full. So anyway, he puts it, whatever it was, and he goes in, and he brings out a pad and a pencil, and what he's doing, he's reading, and he's blind. Watch. What I mean by blind, as he's reading, he's drawing on the pad, and he's looking down, reading. And he's reading about angels. The angels came. And what he drew, unbeknown to him when he looked, was a space map. How it was described. Just thought to tell you that. It's great that, John. Thank you for that. Don't forget, knowing Nick Cage. Robin's A, brilliant. Simon, Robin's A. IBR, Jimmy. Should have put a forward slash there and said Arthur Askew. David Frost was good. That's right. Hello, good evening, and welcome. He was brilliant. He stood no fucking messing. Barry Alden. Sorry, Frank, just got back from Brothers. David Frost. Yeah, thank you. Yeah, you're right. He once said, vote Labour and you'll build castles in the air. Vote Conservative and you can live in them. And having one child makes you a parent, having two, you're an FNA. Really. Oh. That Alex Carp looks, yeah. Frank, what time on shit? I'm an hour ahead. It's 7 o'clock. It's the usual time. I'm having that, you know, because that time just keeping to the same time. Lovely Toscana. UFOs would be interesting. Also, JFK, I've been to Dallas and spent time there where he was shot and went into the book depository, but never seen a UFO. See what I mean? Do you know when they were talking about, I'm glad you said that, Toscana, because when JFK was assassinated, and people were saying there was more than one shot, and there was another shot that came from the north. They came out with the very famous, oh, that's just that's a conspiracy theory. If someone's conspiring to make that theory into, that's where conspiracy theory came from the CIA. And I've always said conspiracy theories, right at the end, smashing back the layers of lies, misinformation, everything, propaganda, and you finally get to the truth. And don't forget what Plato said. No one is more hated than he who speaks the truth. Plato. And when you get ridiculed Leo Tolstoy said, if you feel pain, you're alive. If you feel other people's pain, you're a human being. Think about that. So, Myra, is that time all right for you? 7 o'clock? So, David Froho's the only person to have interviewed all 8 prime ministers who served between 64 and 16. He also interviewed all 7 US presidents in office between 69 and 2008. I like Frosty. He was funny as well, you know. He was funny. I mean, like, you know, I don't mean like funny. He was like a comedian. JFK wanted to list the American Zionist Council as a foreign agent, just leaving that out there. He did, Johan. He did. And this is what's all happening today. It's all these NGOs who's going around causing colour revolutions everywhere. It's fucking shocking. But I think NATO now is finished. You might think, I'll go away. I'm telling you now, Russia has fucking done. Russia hasn't been fighting Ukraine, you know, fucking for a year. Over 1.3 million Ukraine, could be more now, soldiers have died. Not the 45,000 or 8, what soft lads saying Zelensky, because he doesn't want to admit to his people in Ukraine, the ordinary people who fucking hate him and want him out. Well, you're right there. That's a very good one there, Johan. About the fun. They're the NGOs. Talk about them as well. Fucking horrible, then. Yes, it was David Frost. It was driving me mad trying to think it was. Hello, good evening. Did you like that? And for me, next impersonation, all these all these tech needs like T, Bezos, Musk, Gates are all a bit weird. I like Elon. I like Elon. I really do. I would have loved them to have bought us. And I think, you know, they were all saying about FSG are great now. You know, he wouldn't do it. I'm going to be doing something on him in a couple of weeks about that and about Edwards, Ward, Klopp, and John Henry. Be doing something on them. And the way they're selling now, you know, buying rather, I think they're going to sell the club. You might go, oh, go away, I'm telling you. You just bought a player for, what do you call them? So you know what they just bought, you know, one of them baseball players. No, they didn't. They just sold a Red Sox player for $285 million. Christopher. Hi, Frank and everyone. Vert has finally signed. I think aliens have took over FSG because they are spending money. Classic impersonation effect. Yeah, I'm telling you now, you might just, I think they'll sell within the year. How about that for a rare prediction? We elected politicians to take care of our country's needs and us. In reality, they are puppets for the deep state. Yeah, we've all got deep states everywhere, and it's all run by America. One of the worst is a thing called Black Rock. Oh, Michael, I didn't know that, mate. Now I'm over cancer and no longer housebound, and most of my friends being dead. I appreciate. Oh, Michael, I didn't know. Fuck's sake. Oh. Join us. Just join us, Michael. Even Michael, you like the history show, you know. You like the film show in the morning. Everything goes on. Besides films, everything comes in. So I mentioned something. So yeah, just do it. Join us. That's lovely. Thank you so much, Michael. Mille grazie. Franco, I have dyslexia. 9.3 is a big pro to work at. Oh, fuck off. I'm not having that. 3 nines, 27. Dyslexia. Don't have dyslexia with numbers. I was fucking terrible, you know. I don't know how I passed my A levels. Because you have to have, you know, A levels to get to uni. I can't have a clue. I think the fellow was drunk. Not A levels, you know, O levels, the equivalent of GCSEs. I go back years and O level, then A level, but I hadn't a clue. I think the fellow was fucking drunk, marking my paper, or got fed up. Just said, oh, fuck that. Go for the baby. I'm terrible, I am. IBR says to Michael, well done, Michael. You need to have an alkaline diet as cancer can't grow in an alkaline body, so cut out sugar. Oh, go away. Great channel, isn't it? Could know everything. Get to know everything. And Myra says to John, referring Gog from the land of Magog, who leads a vast army against Israel, the prophecy is not European, yeah, but Middle East, yeah, yeah. One of the countries is Turkey, yeah. Gog and Magog. And got a building here. If you never come over, I'll show you the building. I'll show Prince Charles. And could you tell me what this is, Frank? Yeah, on our 800th birthday. Walking around with him, showing him. And we have Gog and Magog in there, holding up this massive thing with, oh, it was the biggest org in the world at the time it was built. Like, when I was doing a DVD, you should have seen. I was, I had to say, because it was made by Willis, fellow named Willis, and I said, the first thing. And this was the biggest organ in the world, because Willis wanted to have the biggest organ. That I was trying to say, and Willis had the biggest organ. Oh, fucking hell, it was terrible what I was trying to say. I think it's on one of the outtakes, they just took one out. The Willis organ. The biggest in the world. Willis wanted the biggest organ in the world. He wanted to show it off. Fucking. I say in that on film. Have you seen Booger Spears, Franco? As they have no idea how they fly. No. Frank, my time is 8 p.m. is okay. Okay, that's lovely, that. May's up with that. Myra. So you'll join us. Don't forget next Tuesday. Anyone know if they can extend Anfield any further? Look, some of this fucking problem. Where you've got the Anfield Road in now, I said, why didn't he fucking round it off? Instead of two stupid fucking big corners that are useless to everybody, to anybody. The only way they can do it is, it's easily done. And I'm no engineer. You just get the cop where the cop is. You've got a road here. No, you haven't. You've got it here. You've got the cop here. Right? The cop. So you've got the road right there. You've got the cop here. All you've got to do is just build up and come over. Oh, come over that way. Come over. And the road be a tunnel to the road. That's all you got to do. No fucking problem. No problemo. The cop up. Kenny's Dalglish stand. And fucking round them off. The corners. Pathetic. Now, if I was Elon, I'd buy the ground. You can all tell. Get down to Frank, he'll tell you how to do the ground. And he can just spend the money. Building the cop. Kenny Dalglish and rounding them all off. And we'll have a cracking ground. Anyone know if they can extend? Yeah, they can. They can, Toscana. They will. Frank, American sports contracts include a salary for the duration of the contract as well. That's why it's so inflated. Ridiculous price, nonetheless. Yes. I'm going to go down these and I'm going to finish, you wonderful people. Christopher, I agree, David. It's all happening for them. They're going to say, yeah, you've got a ground, you've got a great team, you've got a baldy-headed manager. Well, he's not a manager, he's a head coach. You've got a great backroom staff. Look where they are. They've got a worldwide fan base. Glad I got that out. Worldwide fan base. And Barry says, top guy, Michael. Yes. Myra. Michael Lloyd, you have friends here. You'll never walk out. Isn't that lovely? Oh, fucking hell, that's lovely, that. That's emotional, that. IVR. Myra, what time is it in Springbok land now? Springbok. South Africans. Franco, I think it will be the next 2-3 years. Dynasty equity to sell to Qatar. Or don't be surprised another Dubai consortium involvement. Sheikh Mahmoud. If only Moors had done it 20 years ago. Honest. If you remind me, Simon, I'll tell you what happened. I'm not telling you now when I finish. I was sitting there with Tommy Schmidt, John Keith, and this other fella. And we were doing a programme about Liverpool and Inter. And before we started recording, we were having a cup of tea and a sandwich. And I said to Tommy, I said, you were mates with David Moores, man. He says, yeah, he's a good friend of mine, very good. And I asked him, I said, why did he fucking sell to Hicks and Gillette? And he told me the story. And I'll let you know if you remind me next time. You know, it's not okay. Too late now. I'll let you know, Simon. Has anybody seen the Anfield Road? I'm worried about him. And Darwin the Goat. 10:17. It'll be 10:23 now. So Franco, it's called this like a type of. Oh, I'm sorry. Sorry. Number. Go ahead, really. I think that's what I've got. I think so. Do you know when you go to porn, you're young, 17, 18, and the only fucking entertainment you had was a dartboard. And they always used to say to me, hey, come on, Marcus, clever clubs. I usually refused. Couldn't fucking take away or anything. Adds up on it, honestly. So I've got what you've got. Dyscalculia. Wow. Yeah. Just shows you. What do I know? Straight up, my maths is worse than a 5-year-old. Embarrassing when I was at school, but not bothered about it. Oh, why fucking should you be? You're a mum. You're on here with us. You can put a sentence together. Was I? Lovely. Christopher. Michael, glad you're getting out and about. Excellent stuff. The IBR. I agree, those blank corners look horrible around. Thank you. I'm glad someone's fucking agreed with me. I've always said that no one's agreed with me. And the stadium looks unbalanced. Yeah. It's steps. Get on the cop. And then you get on the Kenny Dalglish stand, so you step up. You go along the Kenny Dalglish stand, then you turn, and then you go on the Anfield Road stand, so you step up again. Then you walk along the Kenningdale Green, the Anfield Road stand, and you have to fucking step up against the main stand. That's your unbalance. And they brought in the fucking cheapest of the cheap. A firm that was going into a liquidation, and that was Buckingham. The owners, I don't like the fucking owners. The phonies. Everyone's, oh, left SG&K. No, they're fucking not. Pricks, the lot of them. But that's me. George Zherkov once said to Stalin, if you feel the chief of the general staff talks only rubbish, my place is not here. Better to give me a command in the front where I can be of better use. Zhukov. I've been waiting for me nephew. Gotta say thanks, sir. I love our James, you know. Love him. Love him. Good night, Frank. Another entertaining and informative debate. Thank you. Thank you and the lads and lasses for a cracking night. Say Simon. Great though. Take care, Frank, and legends in the chat. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hey, Frank, call me Clint. See you, legends, tomorrow. Good night, so. You can't get over that, can you? Oh, it's happened. It's happened. And I just went there. All right, Clint, I'll see you again tonight, mate. I'm going. Clint's equal sitting there. Hey, Frank, call me Clint. Prince Charles was the best when I lost everything, and I was just, what the, forgot his fucking name and everything. And I said, you fancy a cup of tea? And he said, the situation's most intolerable. I said, oh, well, I'm going. And I was walking through, and I went to, I forgot his name, forgot how to address him, forgot how to do anything. And I just went like that. See you again, Prince. And he went, oh, yes, the most entertaining, Frank. Very humorous. Screw that. Sent me a great letter. Handwritten. Fuck. I haven't got it anymore. Callum. Big up Tom Franco. Great streamers. Do you know what I will do? If you don't mind as well, you know, saying that I'm going to do certain things, I'm going to do the Mafia. The Mafia. Should be into this. Michael, glad to hear you on the men's onwards and upwards, my friend, says Rob McIntyre. How lovely. How lovely. Thank you, says Michael. Lovely. Love you so. Christopher. Night, Frank and everyone. Have a superb weekend. Up the spending fence. Not the mighty dance, up the spending fence. So you've got all the itches. It's terrible. Do you know what I haven't had tonight? And I just thought about it now. I haven't had me pain. You know, I normally get pain, son. I hope it's not a calm before the storm, as they say. No. Good night, everyone, and thanks for another brilliant show, Franco. Thank you, Rob. Really mean it. Thank you so much. And lovely Toscana. Brilliant night as always, Franco. And take care, everyone, and have a great weekend. You too, Toscana. Please, you too. And Simon says, I know what you're thinking, says Simon. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. And now now you know why they call me Dirty Ellie. Nice one. I like that. Like that, Simon. Anthony, my very good friend, the most gentlest of gentle people in the world. Honestly, love him to death. Anthony Brown. Good night, Frank and all. Great to listen and learn. He's been listening all night. Johan, that was for you. Toscana. Oh, yes, that'll be great. I did for my Italian A level as well as Dante. Ooh, he was bloody nuts. I'm sure he was on Magic Mushroom. Dante. I've seen his too. I've seen Dante's too. And Machiavelli's. Plus Michelangelo. Plus Leonardo da Vinci in Santa Croce, Florence. Couldn't believe it. I'm touching it. I think I'm soft. Honestly, this fucking fella, you know. Incredible. Barry, does anyone have problems with what day it is? I blame it. Yeah. I was late once. Last Saturday. Well, I'm lying there like a big, big lemon. I'm just lying there. I went, okay. I'm on the thing. Like 10 past 10. I'm on at 10. Couldn't get a shower in it. Come out and Ken's on. True. Last Saturday. And I'll finish on this one. Barry, retirement. Johan, to Simon. Your quotation game is off the charts. Legend. Take care, Simon. And on that wonderful note, I love you. I really do. I think he's a fantastic. Anthony, we were talking about you as well on the history show. And how wonderful you are. Great comments. We were talking about the comments. We were talking about the camaraderie. We were look at that, Michael, before. And everybody, Michael, great. See what I mean? Take care, everyone, says the lovely Myra. And on that wonderful note, all you wonderful people, hope to see some of you tomorrow. Hope to see sort of with you well on Monday night with the history show with my great friend, the great artist, international artist, Anthony Brown. Be good. And it's about women. Be fantastic. Believe it, I'm not just saying that. And on that wonderful note, thank you to Jason. Jason, thank you for setting everything up. But the most important people is you out there. Without you, you'd be nothing. Absolutely zilch. And for you people who are not joining me in the morning, have a great weekend. I mean that. Thank you. Thank you.